I like to commend Chip Ingram, the pastor who wrote us this book, The Art of Survival in an Age of Chaos. I was invited to attend the training where we discussed this book, where this book was introduced to us and shared with us, and I found the material refreshing. For me, it was nothing new, but an admonition, a refresher course on the things that we knew. And it helped me in that it put into words what I had, of course, I had already been teaching myself and sharing with people, but it gave me a new way of putting the material, the art of survival, the attitude to adopt, resource to claim, and theology to adopt. And since we did the training on the book, I've had the opportunity to share it. In a particular case, we had a friend of ours whose church was evicted from the place they were renting. They had a tent church, and they had rented the grounds on which they had been for a number of years. And abruptly, their arrangement was a gentleman's agreement on having them using the land was abruptly terminated. And so, in the distress and the disorientation, they have to leave the land, look for a new place to go. So they were forced to go back home to reorganize their church as a house church while they look for a way to go forward and pray and seek God. And it's in those circumstances that I was invited to share with the congregation, just to encourage them. And I found the material in this booklet very relevant for the time, sharing with them the attitude they ought to adopt, and then the resource. It helped, to encourage and to stir up faith for the believers and my friend pastor, to get back on his feet. I am glad to inform you that he has made headway. The church has made headway since then. Obviously, a lot is wanting, but I can say surely that the material in this little booklet has been an aid in them maintaining their in their maintaining their place in the spiritual warfare and in the battle for their community, And so I really would commend this little booklet to all the pastors and anybody that is going through trial. I think that this is a great resource, and surely we thank God for Pastor Chip Ingram for having written such a timely resource for us. And I also want in a special way to thank PDN, to commend PDN for having introduced to us the art of survival in an age of chaos. And it's really a message that is bearing fruit, even for a veteran preacher like myself. You find something refreshing, something new, to stir you up, in the faith. And I want to commend it to anyone and every believer who may be having challenges right now. Yes. And perhaps the last thing I could say about this is that the gist of the message here is that we have to keep the faith that the Lord is with us, and that He is God, He is Almighty, and when we trust Him, nobody who puts his trust in the Lord will ever be put to shame. And that because He is Almighty, there is hope. There is always hope. There is hope, and of course, one of the most insightful things is that the reason we go through trials, not just to be built up, but to show the love of God. You know that God loves us, and He wants us to go through, because when we go through the challenges, they make us, and then they make us a blessing to other people. We are able to help those who face the challenges that we have faced, you know, through by the grace that God has given us. So when we maintain the right attitude and we ask for wisdom from the Almighty, you know, then He can bring us through, and that sets our course in the challenges of the times. So may the Lord bless you as you read the book and interact with the material. Thank you very much.